Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and we are from Group 4. So the metal complex that we choose is sodium diaquabis acetylate nucleate 2 hexahydrate. So this is the three-dimensional model for the metal complex. For the table of content, we are going to talk about the method of synthesis, geometry of complex, stereochemistry, point group, type of ligand bonded to complex, analysis of complex, application, and also the references. So the first one will be the method of synthesis. So for this metal complex, the slow evaporation method is used. So what is slow evaporation method? So this method is where the compound can be dissolved in a single solvent or mixture of two solvents and left for slow evaporation. It can also be done either under atmospheric condition or under inert atmosphere. So the first one will be the preparation of sodium hydroxide aqueous solution. So sodium hydroxide is dissolved in 20 ml of distilled water with continuous stirring and labeled as BKA. And then the nickel sulfate hexahydrate is dissolved in 50 ml of distilled water and labeled as BKB. And then the BKA, which is the sodium hydroxide solution, is added into the nickel sulfate hexahydrate solution. After the centrifugation, a green color of precipitate of nickel hydroxide is formed. So the nickel precipitate is washed 3 times with distilled water and dried in air. Therefore, the freshly nickel hydroxide is obtained. And then two chemicals, which are sodium oxalate and also oxalic acid monohydrate, are dissolved in 100 ml of distilled water, and then the solution is stirred vigorously and heated at 90 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes, and the freshly nickel hydroxide is added into the mixture and stirred continuously. After that, the solution is cooled slowly to room temperature and filtered off. So the filtrate is taken and left to stand for slow evaporation for 1 week. Therefore, green emerald crystal solid is obtained and the complex is successfully synthesized.
I will continue to present on the geometry of this complex. This complex is having an octahedral geometry. As you can see, this is a geometry of octahedral. It is because it's having a coordination number of 6. But this geometry having a distortion because there is decline between the bond angle of oxygen, nickel, and oxygen from the oxalate ion, which increasing the length between the oxygen from the water ligand to the central metal. Next, I will continue to explain about the stereochemistry of this complex. This complex is having a trans isomer, which is because there is a steric hindrance between the oxalate ion, and this trans isomer will not have a enantiomer because there will no mirror image.
And next is we need to determine the point group of our complex. Okay, first, as you can see from your left, our complex, it has C2 axis on vertical axis, and it also has C2 axis on horizontal axis between carbonyl group on oxalate ligand, and it also has horizontal mirror plane. And then because of these C2 axes are perpendicular to each other, our point group is D2H. Next is type of ligand bonded to complex. First, valence bond theory. We know our complex is D2H. So by finding the irreducible representation, we can find the hybridization of central metal. Okay, as in the table is the reducible representation of sigma bond. And then after we reduce the representation, by using the character table, we can find the hybridization of nickel is SPX, PY, PZ, DXY, and DZ square. So the hybridization is sp3d2. Okay, next, crystal field theory. We know that our oxidation state of nickel is +2. So the electronic configuration is D8. And both of our ligand, oxalate and water, are weak ligand. So the energy splitting is T2G6 EG2. Next is ligand field theory sigma bond. By using the character table, we can find the orbital of metal. And then when we reduce the representation, we can find the orbital of ligand. And then we find the match orbital. And then the match orbital is 2Ag, B1G, B1U, B2U, and B3U. And then we also find the ligand field theory of pi bonding, because to determine either our ligand is weak ligand or strong ligand, we also need to consider the interaction between metal and pi bonding, out of plane, and in plane. So the first step is find the reducible representation by considering out of plane and in plane, and then after reduce we can get this orbital of pi bonding. And then by comparison between this orbital of metal and orbital of ligand, and the only symmetry orbital are AG, B1G, B2G, B3G, B1U, B2U, and B3U. And then if we compare the orbital that symmetry, if we compare between pi bonding and sigma bonding, the only orbital that don't have counterpart in sigma bonding is B2G and B3G. So these two orbitals will be used in molecular diagram of pi bonding to determine the difference in energy splitting. And then based on whether our ligand water and oxalate are pi donor ligand, so it decreases the energy splitting.
Okay, so for the analysis of this complex, the FTIR spectrum shows the existence of nickel, water molecules, and oxalate dianion. So firstly, the strong broadband shows the stretching OH vibration of water molecules. Next, there are 3 peaks observed which are attributed to the stretching vibration due to oxalate dianions. Next, the bending modes of negatively charged carboxylate ion have appeared at these 2 wavelengths. And lastly, the stretching vibration of nickel-oxygen bonds have appeared at these 2 wavelengths. For the UV-Vis of nickel, we know that nickel plus 2 has D8 electron configuration. So based on Tanabe-Sugano diagram, there are 3 possible DD transition. And for this complex, there are 3 absorption peaks observed. Usually at higher intensity, it indicates a charge transfer transition, which is for this complex is ligand to metal charge transfer. And there are 2 DD transitions. So the first one is from ground state of triplet A2G to the highest excited state of triplet T1G. And this transition appear at the shorter wavelength because generally by referring to the equation of energy equals to Hc over lambda, when the energy of transition is higher, it will have a shorter wavelength. Okay, for the next transition, this transition is from ground state to the second excited state of triplet T1G, and it has a lower energy as compared to this transition, and then it will have a longer wavelength of 650 nanometer. Okay, however, the UV-Vis region is only until 800 nanometer, thus the transition of triplet A2G to triplet T2G is not observed because it has a longer wavelength, and this transition will then appear in infrared region. Next, the complex looks green because the light absorbed in the right region of 650 nanometer thus appear the complementary of green color. Okay, as I have mentioned before, higher intensity indicate charge transfer transition, and there are 2 types of this transition. The first one is ligand to metal, and the second one is metal to ligand. Okay, for the magnetic behavior, this complex exhibit paramagnetic above temperature of 10 Kelvin, and below this temperature, it shows strong antiferromagnetic ordering. As you guys can see from this picture, this complex will be spontaneously align itself at relatively low temperature into opposite or anti-parallel arrangement, which known as antiferromagnetic. Okay, for the magnetic moment, this formula is used to calculate spin on the magnetic moment, and experimentally, the observed magnetic moment value of 3.494 megaton lies in the normal range of this value corresponding to octahedral nickel, which is the 8 complexes.
Last but not least, the application of this complex is potential use as optoelectronic device. Optoelectronic device is a semiconductor, but specifically in this case, it can be used as a semiconductor that can produce a light. Next, the application of this complex is to use as magnetism, as this complex can produce a magnetic field alongside it complex. Last but not least, this complex can be used as a potential catalyst which can oxidize the carbon dioxide and water splitting. So this is the reference for our presentation. That's all from us. Thank you.